guys, it's Emma. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am filming my October wrap-up, right? October wrap-up and my November TBR. The first thing we're gonna start this video off is with my November TBR, and that's because I have something planned for this video. So last month, I let my Instagram choose my TBR like blindly, and I did it by like emojis and stuff. But this time around, I actually did not read any of the books on my TBR. Shocker, are we even surprised? This time around, I'm going to pick 2 books the same as last time, but I'm gonna send them to my friends and they're gonna pick my TBR for the month. I have 6 selection of books. Yeah, we're gonna do that right now. I'm going to take the pictures of the books and start sending them to my friends. I'm gonna do that so you guys can see. So first 2 books I have is The Housemaid and The Naturals. 2 books, I'm pretty sure they're like both mystery books, something like that, thrillers. So I'm gonna take a picture of these books and send them to my friends. So the first friend I'm sending it to is my friend Devin. The reason why I'm sending him these books specifically is because they're not a romance, and I know he's gonna be so bored with the romance. So when I show him these 2 books, he'll be more interested in them. So I'm just gonna say, hi, pick one of these books for a YouTube video. The left is a mystery, right? Mystery-ish book, and the right is a thriller. I sent him that, and now we're just gonna wait for his response. I'm going to keep taking pictures of them and send them to my friends, and I will get back to you guys later with the results. So you guys are only gonna see these 2 books that I just showed, and I'll show the rest later when we get the responses from all my friends. Okay guys, so I'm back. It's literally only been like an hour, probably less, and all my friends responded already. So we're gonna start off with Devin, the first person I texted. Books I sent him were The Naturals and The Housemaid. The Housemaid is a thriller. I talked about this in the last TBR video. It's basically, people will compare it to Verity, the Colleen Hoover book. Basically, it says, every day I clean the Winchester's beautiful house, top to bottom. I pick up their daughter from school, cook delicious meals, whatever. And then there's like this one door that's locked. It only locks from the outside. That's this one. And then The Naturals gets compared to Criminal Minds, but like young adult version. So it's like these kids that have these like special abilities, and they help the FBI, I think, like solve cases. Everyone is obsessed with this series, so I was hoping Devin would pick this book, but he actually picked The Housemaid. He said, I'll go with The Right just to entertain your YouTubers a little bit, and The Right was The Housemaid. Hopefully I'm able to get to this book. I did want to get to both of these anyway, both of these books this month. Hopefully I could get to both of them, but especially this one since it's now on my TBR. So this is the first book added to November's TBR. The next person I texted was Marcella. The 2 books I sent her were Heartless by Elsie Silver, and then Things We Left Behind is the second book that I sent her. This is the second book in the Chestnut Spring series. I loved the first book. I gave it 4.5 stars, and it's basically like a country romance, and I don't know if it's small town, but this one is of one of the other brothers. He is a single dad, I'm pretty sure it is. He needs a nanny, and I'm pretty sure he falls in love with the nanny. Yeah, that's this one. And this is the 3rd book in the Knock 'Em Out series. Actually, I'm gonna be talking about the 2nd book later in this video because I read it in October. I bought this book right after I finished the 2nd because I'm so excited to finish the series and to learn about the couple in this book because they've been hinting at it since the 1st book. Yeah, whichever book she picks, I will be happy with. But she did end up picking Heartless. She's the one that actually convinced me to read this series. She loves this series. I am going to put Heartless on my TBR, and I'm so excited because I have been wanting to get to this, and everyone loves like the single dad trope, and I don't think I've ever read about that, so this is gonna be the first time getting into it, and I'm so excited. So 2nd book added to the TBR for this month. The next person I texted was my best friend Julia. I sent her the books Regretting You by Colleen Hoover and If He Had Been With Me. Regretting You, I actually have had for, it's about to be a year that I've had this. Yeah, I don't know what this is about. I'm pretty sure it's like about a mom and a daughter, but you also follow the mom getting into a relationship, I think, and the daughter too. Morgan Grant and her 16-year-old daughter Clara would like nothing more than to be nothing alike. Morgan is determined to prevent her daughter from making the same mistake she did by getting pregnant and married way too young. Morgan put her own dreams on hold. Clara doesn't want to follow in her mother's footsteps. Her predictable mother doesn't have a spontaneous bone in her body. With warring personalities and conflicting goals, Morgan and Clara find it increasingly difficult to coexist. The only person who can bring peace to the household is Chris, Morgan's husband, Clara's father, and the family anchor. But that peace is shattered when Chris is involved in a tragic and questionable accident. The heartbreaking and long-lasting consequences will reach far beyond just while struggling to rebuild everything that crashed around them, Morgan finds comfort in the last person she expects to, and Clara turns to the one boy she's been forbidden to see. With each passing day, new secrets, resentment, and misunderstandings make mother and daughter fall further apart. So far apart, it might be impossible for them to ever fall back together. It sounds like there's a lot going on in this book. It's like a lot between the mother and the daughter, and then something with the dad, and then it says Morgan finds comfort in the last person she expects to, and then you follow Clara and another boy that she's forbidden to follow. So there's a lot going on in this book. So it sounds pretty interesting, and it's not super long either. So that's this book. Been on my shelf for so long. And then If He Had Been With Me, I'm pretty sure the next book with the boy's point of view is coming out this month, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not completely sure, but this book is like super heartbreaking, I've heard, and it was in my last TBR video. I'm pretty sure it did not get picked. Julia answered the blue one. There's no blue in this one, so I'm guessing she's talking about this one, which isn't really blue, it's black, but I know which one she's talking about. So this is the book that she chose to be on my TBR for this month, which I'm so excited for because, like I said, I'm pretty sure the other book is coming out this month with that it's in the guy's point of view, and everyone's like so excited for it. So I'm so interested in to see what happened in this book, and apparently it's like the most heartbreaking book ever. So we'll see. This is the next book added to the TBR, third book. The next person I texted was my other friend, Emily. I gave her the option between Shatter Me and Fourth Wing. These are two fantasy books. Shatter Me, I have no clue what it's about. I said this in the last TBR video. I honestly don't know. I just know everyone reads this book for one specific guy character. That's this book. It's a short book, 300 something pages. So that's this one. And then Fourth Wing, I'm sure everyone knows about this book. It's like the most popular fantasy book of this year, and it's about dragons, like some dragon school. But yeah, mostly everyone talks about like the dragons and like not even the romance or like any of that. Yeah, I'm excited to read this book, obviously, because it's such a popular book. So I gave her these two options and she picked Fourth Wing. I had a feeling she was gonna pick Fourth Wing because I feel like anyone I ask, they're gonna pick Fourth Wing because it's such a popular book, and I feel like I'm the only one who hasn't read it. Yeah, hopefully I could get to this month because I've been saying I want to read it. I also have so many other books that I want to read. Yeah, that's the book that's gonna be added to my TBR, so hopefully I could get to it. Next person I texted was Sabrina, another one of my friends, and I gave her the option between Tell Me Lies and Normal People. Both of these books were in my last TBR video too, and I do want to get to these books because I have had them on my shelf for so long, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I put these together in the last one, but Normal People did not get selected and this one did. She also chose Tell Me Lies. She said, pink one, I love the name and the cover so much. So that's this one. This one I'm pretty sure it's like very toxic, I've heard. Honestly, I love myself a toxic book because it's good for the plot. Oh, there's a lot in like one page. There's a lot going on in one page. It's also not that long, like 350 something pages. Yeah, hopefully I could get to this. It also, I noticed in the last video that I used this book, it has a Hulu series, so that's probably interesting. I would love to see how that came out. Next book added to my TBR is the fifth book. And the last person I texted was my best friend Camila. I gave her the option between Once Upon a Broken Heart and Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Once Upon a Broken Heart, also have had this book for a long time. A fantasy book, and I'm pretty sure it's like, when everyone describes this book, they describe it as like magical and like Alice in Wonderland type book. That's what I've heard about this book. Then Powerless, I've literally only heard good things about this book, and I honestly really want to read this book. Supposedly the plot is good in this book, the romance is good, the guy is good. Yeah, I'm just dying to know what the hype with this book is. So those are the two options I gave her, and she picked Once Upon a Broken Heart, which I was hoping she was gonna pick Powerless, but it's okay because I don't know, there's no way I'm gonna get to all these books, but you know, whatever, it's okay. She picked Once Upon a Broken Heart, so this is the last book added to my TBR. Hopefully I can actually get to all the books that were picked. So just to go through them again, first book is The Housemaid. The next book is Heartless by Elsie Silver. Third book is If He Had Been With Me. Fourth is Fourth Wing. Then it's Tell Me Lies, and then Once Upon a Broken Heart. So those are the 6 books added to my TBR. Now we're gonna talk about the 3 books I read this month, or last month in October. And yes, I finally read 3 books. I've been reading 2 books every month recently because I just have not had the time to read. Yeah, I tried my best to read as much as I can this month. But the first book I read was Things We Hide from the Light. I'm gonna be looking off to the side a little because I did this last time. I have all my reviews and thoughts and rating on my computer. So I rated this book a 3.75. I did not like it as much as I liked the first book in the series, Things We Never Got Over, but it was still a good book. I just felt like this book went by so slow. Like, this book did not have to be this thick, to be honest, because when I think back on this book, I just don't think that this much happened. It could have been cut to like this could have been the size of the book, but there was this much more. I don't know, it was just really long for no reason. And before I got into the first book, I was like, why does this book have to be so long? But I understood, and I loved it, and I loved the thickness of the book because I was like, I just loved the couple and I loved the story. But this book, I was dreading every time I picked up this book, I was like, please, like, let's get somewhere. And most of the time we didn't really get that far. Some of the thoughts I wrote down, literally at 40%, we were getting somewhere, but with the crime aspect of the story, because if you don't know, this story also has like a crime, like, mystery to it, but like it's kind of a side plot-ish. But it felt like one of the main plots in this book because, and at 40%, we were still nowhere with the romance. They would still like flirt, and it was like, can we just stop acting like you guys don't like each other? Like, whatever. But at 40%, we were getting somewhere with the crime. So for the first 39%, I don't know what was going on. Obviously not that important. This book made me realize how much I loved like small town romances. I literally love small town romances. I'm pretty sure all the books I read this month were small town. But yeah, I just like literally fell in love with like that trope. And I just love how everyone knows everyone's business. And I think it's just so cute. I feel like one of the reasons this book is so long is because Lisa doesn't want anything. She's not like the relationship type. And Nash is like the gentleman. Like, everyone knows him as like the nice brother. He's like the lovey-dovey type, and Lisa is not. She tells him that right off the bat. She's like, I don't like relationships, I don't do lovey-dovey stuff, like, whatever. He was like, that's fine. So he's like trying to work with her, and he also has trauma from the first book, so he's like kind of more serious than he usually is, but he's still like soft with her. Throughout this whole book, he's like fighting for her and trying to show her that like you can be in a relationship and you can be like a good person, and she realizes that she actually can be a good person when she's with Nash. So that was cute. Nash had me kicking my feet, but overall it got really good towards the end of the book. The romance I was loving, the crime aspect I was loving, but it was just the beginning. Like, the first half of the book went by pretty slow. Yeah, but I pushed through, and I'm hoping that the third book will be easier to get through, but we'll see. I've heard mixed reviews on the third book, but that is my review on this book. What did I say? 3.75 stars. The next 2 books I actually read on my phone. The second book I read was Off to the Races by Elsie Silver. So she is the same author that wrote the Chestnut Spring series, but this series she wrote before the Chestnut Spring series. And this is the first book in the series. I don't know what the series is called, but the first book is called Off to the Races. And I gave this book 2.5 stars, which was so unexpected because it did not feel like the same author that wrote Flawless. I feel like it was very insta-lovey. Like, he saw her and he was like obsessed with her already, and he wanted to know everything she was gonna do, to the point where it was like a little creepy. Like, I was like, you're a little weird. Like, I was just weirded out by him. Basically what I wrote down here is that I feel like the whole book, okay, but let me explain what the book was. So basically, Vaughn works at like this ranch, and he used to run it with his grandfather, but his grandfather passed away, so he runs it with this other guy now. And this other guy is related to Billy. Not related, but like he's always been there for her, and he's like basically her father. She's escaping this other life she used to have, which, might I add, I didn't write this down, but like, we never really knew anything about her past life, which is so weird to me, or maybe I just can't remember it. That was one of the aspects. And then she comes and she's helping with the horses, and she has to help with this one horse that is super young, has no experience, and she has to train that horse to like race other horses. And so she does that with Violet, which is another one of the side characters, which honestly I'm excited for her book and the guy that she's gonna be with, because I already have a feeling who. But I feel like the whole book was based around the relationship between Billy and the horse that she was training. Like, I was actually more invested between that relationship than Billy and Vaughn, because it honestly just felt like she had so much more love for the horse than for Vaughn. I don't know, it was just a really weird book. I didn't really like the romance, to be honest. I just wasn't connected to the characters. I wasn't there. It felt really quick. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, I just didn't connect to them, didn't understand why or how fast they connected. That is that review for that book, 2.5 stars. And then the last book I read this month was called The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and I honestly have no clue where I heard about this book. It's like some random book. I probably got it from TikTok, I'm not sure. It's written by Lori Gilmore, which I think is so ironic because the whole time the book was giving me Gilmore Girl vibes. It was so cute. It was set in like this small town. I was literally picturing Stars Hollow, which is where Gilmore Girls is set. This book was actually really, really cute. It's basically about this girl that has to take over her aunt's cafe, I'm pretty sure, and she's hearing noises because she lives like on top of the cafe, I'm pretty sure, which another reason why it reminds me of Gilmore Girls. If you know, you know. I'm not gonna explain that whole thing. She lives like on top of the cafe, I'm pretty sure. She's like hearing these noises and she's like, this place has to be haunted because she doesn't see anything. Then this guy, he comes to like bring her pumpkins. I honestly forgot these characters' names, so I don't have their names and I'm not gonna go check, to be honest. But he brings her pumpkins in the middle of the night and she's like, oh, so you were the one making the noises. And he was like, no, I wasn't making that much noise. Then she's trying to figure out like where these noises are coming from, and then he helps her. They like do like an overnight thing and then they find out it's a cat, but then she keeps staying and she finds out it's not a cat because there's noises still happening. There's a little bit of like that to it, like you're like wondering who's doing all of this, but also the romance in the book is so cute because since it's a small town, everyone knows the guy and they're very protective over him because his ex, she came to like this small town and then she left him. The whole town like doesn't want him to go through that again, and they see him getting close with this girl and they're like, oh, like telling the girl like, you better not hurt him. That's kind of what this whole book is. He's worried that she's gonna leave him, but then she's worried because he's still not over this situation. He's like, she's like, I don't understand why you think I would do that. And it's just a really cute book. I gave it 3.5 stars, if I haven't said that already. It was a cute book. I would recommend it. It was giving cute fall vibes, actually. Like, I loved the whole vibe of the book was cute. The small town, the romance, the fall vibes, it was just all very cute. But one thing I will say is that the attraction did feel kind of physical because I feel like they didn't get to really know each other on like a deeper level. It just felt like there's a physical attraction. Well, I don't know. It was just a physical attraction, and then every time he would like describe her, he would just say like how pretty she is. And I was like waiting for something more, and there never really was more. Also, like I said, he kept comparing his relationship with the new girl to the one with his ex, and he was like scared that she's gonna leave him. It literally mentioned in the book, when's he gonna stop because the book is like in third person, and then it said, when's he gonna stop comparing them. I was like, oh, so he's literally comparing the new girl with his ex. Great. So that was like a little weird to me, but honestly the reason this book got such a high rating is because of the vibes, because it was just such a cute vibe, to be honest. Like, it was a really cute book. Those are the 3 books I read in October, and yeah, I'm hoping I can read more books in November because I say this every month, I feel like, but I have been wanting to read more books, so hopefully I could read more. So yeah, those are all the books I read in October. Those are the books that are on my November TBR, and we will be back here for a November wrap up and a December TBR, which is crazy that we're already gonna be in December, but we won't talk about it. So yeah, that's the end of this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you give it a like, subscribe, turn on your post notifications so that you know when I post my next video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.